Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews. And today I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Spider Dan of Spider Dan the Secret Boars podcast, as we explore the wonderful film Star Crash.
Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
Angry Andy. Angry Andy.
Angry Andy Reviews.
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 Don't make me destroy you.
Okay, Star Crash, 1978. What the friggin' hell was that?
Well, it was Italian filmmakers, as per usual, trying to cash in on the latest popular film and or trend. So 1977 saw the release of the blockbuster smash hit that was Star Wars, and straight away they did not waste a single second getting this made to be released
No.
the following year.
Not at all. And from the sounds of it, this had all the fucking problems that Star Wars had when they were making it, from budget problems to financing problems, miniatures that weren't completed on time, you name it, they had it.
Oh, I've got more interesting on-set problems than that.
Oh,
Wait till-
I
wait till
can't
you
wait.
hear. Wait
But
till you-
literally, like, didn't know anything about this film at all, apart from the fact that Hasselhoff was in it. I didn't even know that bloody, what's his name? Christopher Plummer was in it. Massive surprise. So I literally knew nothing about this film. Nothing at all.
I mentioned this to you on a podcast that is yet to come out from Spider Dan and the Secret Boars, and you're like, "Oh, I'll write that down," and here we are.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say it's been a waste of my evening, but I'm like, I'm not going to sleep well tonight, I don't think, because my mind is just racing with like everything about this film. I don't even know. I don't actually know where to start. I don't, tell you the truth. I mean, we were briefly discussing it. I don't know what happens in this film, really, apart from the very basics of 3 escape pods escape this ship that's being attacked by these baubles, or what did you call it? What did you call it?
It was like they were being attacked by the inside of a lava lamp.
Yeah, it's literally just a lava lamp superimposed on the screen attacking these ships, and it's like somebody's blowing bubbles alongside it with like a red lighting setup just above them. Like, quick, it looks good, blow the bubbles. But
And they set up that opening. They set up that these bubbles are deadly, like absolutely deadly. It's like radiation. You know, there's a bloody Geiger counter going off, clicking away. And it's like, oh my god, yeah. Everyone is dropping dead with the drop of a hat. Then later on, our heroes are hit by the same weapon or the same beings or whatever they are, and they just go, "Oh, we just survived the deadliest weapon in the galaxy." And
I mean, we've jumped ahead. We've jumped ahead over an hour immediately, but I don't know how they get through that. I don't know how they get through that. I mean, this film. I mean, there's no point even really critically analyzing it, is it? I think it's not a good film. It's a mess, but it's considered a cult classic, isn't it? Like, very much a major cult classic, but I get why, because it is really that bad. It is so cheesy. It's so off kilter in every single way.
Would you say it's so bad it's good, or is it just so bad?
I mean, at this point, I'm more inclined to say it's just bad. The only thing that I liked about it, which I've already said, was the music. I think the music was okay, but it was clearly made after the fact. Probably like a rush job, and it's just all John Williams-esque, really, isn't it? It's kind of a massive rip-off.
Before we started watching again, I haven't seen this like Andy. This was first time viewing for me and Andy. I did do a little bit of get a little bit of trivia and stuff on this before I watched, and one of the bits of trivia was obviously the composer is John Barry, famous for doing a lot of the Bond themes. So quality composer. Um, the production team, the director, whoever it may be, would not let him see the film up until the last minute because they were afraid he was going to leave the production.
That doesn't surprise me at all. And I don't know. I don't know any of this trivia at all. But like similar to that, so this film, we've not even talked about like the plot or anything at the minute. We've literally just gone straight.
There is no plot. We struggled with the plot all the way through this film because I was just like, "What is happening? What is going on? What is that? What are the characters thinking? Like, why are they saying those things in such an odd manner? And just everything."
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you said about like the worried about the composer leaving. Well, like on the bit of trivia that I found was that literally the film was made specifically for this production company, and they literally watched it and went, "No, nobody's ever going to see the light. It's not going to see the light of day. Nobody's ever going to watch this." And then some random little studio went, "Oh, well, we'll sell it and it'll be fine." And it was obviously released as one of those like late night screening kind of things.
Yeah, well, it was New World. It's New World Pictures, which isn't the
Yeah.
smallest. It was like obviously it's Roger Corman, so he likes his schlock.
Yeah.
He likes his, again, he's very much kind of the American rip-off artist. He creates all these clones, and after this, he went on to make Battle Beyond the Stars, which is another Star Wars rip-off. Arguably, at least has a plot. And it's probably- Yeah, it's it's a stretch, but I'd say it's probably a better movie than this. But yeah, Jesus Christ, he's clearly like just glommed onto that, got the rights to it, and was like, right, just put it out. We'll see how it does, and if it does pretty well, we'll do our cheap version as well, basically.
I mean, I'm looking at some of the other stuff. Like for the Saturn Awards, it was nominated for Best Film at the Saturn Awards. What were people on that year? Were they literally that desperate for like something similar to Star Wars that they just lap up this trash? I mean, it's got the problem.
Star trash.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, the thing that's surprised about this film is like we've already said, the cast in this film is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good cast. You've got David Hasselhoff in there, who is always very young in this, isn't he? He's very young, very eager, and he's actually the best fucking person in this film.
Yeah,
because he's actually giving everything. He's literally like on it. He's desperate to do well in this. You can tell. You've got Christopher Plummer, who was clearly lied to about this film, and is delivering his best Shakespearean theatre acting, even with some of the shots. Like we talked about some of the shots in the film. There's long moments when he's delivering this grandiose speech, and then he'll just go. And that is literally how long the camera holds on him, because he's obviously doing his thoughtful stage acting, and it's just wrong. It's wrong. And then you've got Joe Spinell, bloody hell, Caroline Munro. It's a good cast. It's a really good cast. They just don't do anything with them. And the main guy, I can't. What's his name? I don't even know.
I know the character's name is his name is Acton.
Yeah. Marjo Gortner.
Sure.
Yeah.
His name is Acton, but I'd argue he doesn't do any acting in this. He's the worst thing about it. He looks about 40 years too old to be playing the role he does.
Yeah, he's completely like outperformed by David Hasselhoff, isn't he? He's completely outperformed.
Yeah, it just like David Hasselhoff, like even his choreography, he's trying to play this kind of almost like wise Jedi, and this like, I know everything, and everything will work out for the best. And,
yeah, massive rip-off. He has a fucking lightsaber and has these weird force powers, doesn't he, as well? It's like, fucking hell, can you be any more on the nose about your references, about your influences? Bloody hell.
Well, like you were saying before we started recording, like it's very Barbarella, it's very 2001, it's very Star Wars, it's very Ray Harryhausen with all the stop motion
Yeah.
and stuff. There's
It's literally everything. Star Trek, like the weird baubles in space. It's literally the worst episode of the original series of Star Trek, times by 1,000, with no effects budget, and that's what you've got as your special effects. It's literally so on the nose in every single aspect. I mean, it's harmless, isn't it? It's harmless. It feels a bit bad to be sort of tearing it apart, but there's no other way to look at it, really. It's not. I'm actually.
It's a like you were saying, it was a struggle to find something good to say about it.
Yeah.
Like I know we watched it together, like live on Zoom and stuff. And I'm kind of glad we did, because I don't know if I would have made it to the end. Like it's one of those where I'm like, wow. And I said about there was a line like, oh, an hour can pass really quickly here, and I was like, no, it hasn't, because it feels like I've been watching this for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, the film is an hour and a half, moves at breakneck speed, and yet it frigging drags. It drags massively. They literally go from situation to situation to situation without really explaining where the hell they are in the universe. And presumably they go across the entire universe. Well, they say they go across the entire universe at one point. And yet, for everything they do, it amounts to very little. We see so much, so very briefly, that you don't have time to really process what's going on. I mean, they go to 3 different planets throughout the course of this film. They go to fucking Themyscira with literal Amazons on it.
Yeah,
it's not called Themyscira, but this is as basic as I can put it. They go to Themyscira, they fight some Amazons and a massive statue thing with, I don't even know what the hell it was, and then they go to Hoth. Clearly George Lucas ripped off this film to create Hoth, and then they go to the troglodyte world, which literally does have, and they say in the film, Dan said this, like literally went, oh, these troglodytes are really great. And then about 2 minutes later, David Hasselhoff says, oh, these troglodytes are a bit vicious, or something like that. It's like, we called it. It's literally the troglodyte world. And it's everything that happens, it all happens so quickly. They don't stay anywhere for any great period of time. I mean, I couldn't tell you where one scene begins and another scene ends, to be quite honest, because it just jumps around that quick. You don't have any sort of moment to process anything.
And it's kind of like things just happen. It's never like, like there's a bit where they're like in this big space battle. You can't make heads or tails of the space battle, where you are, where the ships are, and what position they're in.
Yeah.
What kind of trouble they're in or what have you. It's just a load of fucking special effects and filters on the screen. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we survived, and it's like, what the fuck? Like,
were you fighting? I didn't see anything.
Yeah. I was saying to Andy that there's in Star Wars and stuff like that, better sci-fi media. You're in a space battle, and then obviously you're being defeated, and then you fuck off, like you go.
Yeah, you leave as fast as you can.
You leave because you're in the field of battle, and they kind of just go, oh, we're losing the battle, and then spend 2 or 3 minutes talking about how they're losing the battle in the same position. There's no urgency. It's not just like, oh, we won't win it. We won't win unless we do this. We need to do this now, or we need to go to this planet. It's just like,
that's just it. The film itself moves really quickly, like I said, but the dialogue doesn't move at all. It labors around for ages. There's repetitive moments where characters are just staring into oblivion. Clearly they forgot their lines, or they're waiting for somebody to give them off screen, like
a cue line.
Yeah. And you said it as well. Like, there's loads of points in this film where like lines of dialogue come in from nowhere, almost as if like a section of the conversation has been removed before it. So you get this whatever's been there before it's been cut, and then you get somebody going, "Ha, yeah, that was good." And you're like, "What?"
I think one of the best examples is right at the end where David has spoilers.
Oh, I don't care about spoilers. I don't care about spoilers. I mean,
this is on
I
Amazon
feel like
Prime.
I've got a large whiskey here. I feel like I should have had this whiskey from the start. I'm actually regretting not having this whiskey from the start. So, spoiler alert for the future. We're also going to be looking at the Turkish Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Believe you me, I will be having a whiskey during that.
I expect that to be much worse as well. I have a feeling.
I expect it to be better.
You do? Oh well. Okay. We'll see how we fare with that next one. But
sorry,
yeah,
you were saying?
I was saying one of the best examples of that is David Hasselhoff at the end. Stella Star, the main character played by Caroline Munro, is kind of floating back to the ship, quite very poorly done. And David Hasselhoff is like speaking to her, like, Stella, and welcome back.
Yeah, that's the dialogue, isn't it? She
Stella,
goes, "Oh,
Stella."
It's like, oh, we're over here, Prince Simon." He's called Simon, by the way. We're over here. I mean, Simon. They've all got really good names.
Like, got Zarthan, the Emperor of the Galaxy,
Acton,
Stella Star, Acton,
the robot,
Thor,
Corellia, and then you've got Simon.
The best character is given the worst, most average name possible.
I mean, is that supposed to play to the average Joe feel of it? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, going back to the, like, oh, we're over here, Simon. Oh, yeah. And then it just doesn't make any sense.
And welcome home.
What? It's almost like saying, I knew I'd find you. Welcome home. No, just and welcome home. It's baffling. There are loads of moments in there. Too many moments. I mean, because that one happens at the end, so we noted that one. But there's so many other moments.
There was there was a one.
You just go, where did that come from? Where's that line of dialogue?
Yeah, there's that one with Acton that we noticed right at the start, where he's like, they walk in, they've been released from prison, and he just goes, "Would I lie to you?" Yeah.
She goes, yeah, she escapes magically, gets everyone else killed that's in that prison.
All the ugly people in rags, and she's in barely her Vampirella outfit, as I like to describe it.
Everybody else, it doesn't make any sense. So she's captured. So at the start of the film, Acton and Stella Star are captured by these two bounty hunters, which includes Elder Robot and some other
police, maybe? I don't know. They're smugglers, aren't they? They're supposed
to
be smugglers.
So it's literally a complete rip-off of Star Wars. Acton is pretty much C-3PO, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Princess Leia rolled into one. And they're captured immediately, aren't they? And when she's put in prison, like, she's given a costume change, but her costume change is less than what she was wearing before. And all the other prisoners in this prison complex are wearing rags, and she's wearing essentially just a black bikini. And then she creates a riot, gets everyone killed, including all the other prisoners, and then makes good her escape. And it's like, what? And then she's picked up by the bounty hunters that sent her to that prison, and then they go and rescue Acton, and he goes, "Would I lie to you?"
Yeah,
what about? What about? What are you on about?
They've gone to the trouble of capturing them, putting them in prison, and then going, "Oh no, the Emperor needs your help."
Yeah.
Why not just cut that massacre, that prison massacre scene?
Well, not just that.
Straight into that.
Not just that, but they could have played it like, like cleverly, like, oh, we cashed in your bounty, we got the money, as though it's like a double cross kind of situation. But there's no mention of anything like that, so you just have to assume that they had a change of heart because they're good. But then there's a triple cross when Thor, the other bounty hunter, decides to betray them later on in the film, and you go, oh, well, didn't see that coming. But Acton did, because he can see the future, so he can see everything. He's literally like, he's overpowered. He's the Mary Sue, isn't he?
Yeah,
literally overpowered completely in this film.
To be fair, like I respect Acton, because there's no way I would have predicted any of the stuff that happens in this plot at any point. Like, you've got to give him props for that. You got to, he can see all that coming, and and again, like you said, he sits on the ship, he pretends he's knocked out for hours, lets his friends freeze and get killed, and then all of a sudden he'll be like, "Oh, I'm here to save you. Oh, and I barely get hurt, and I die.
Yeah, there's so many times like throughout this film, literally Stellar Star and Elder Robot are sent into these hostile territories on these hostile worlds to find this whatever it is they're looking for, which turns out to be Prince Simon. They're sent whilst Acton, who can wield all this power, literally has a lightsaber. It says it in the subtitles on Amazon Prime. Lightsaber ignites. So he's got a lightsaber. Clear breach of copyright there. Surprised they haven't, done anything about that, Disney, but there you go. Maybe they don't know it exists. So yeah, he has a lightsaber. He has force powers because you see him fiddling about with whatever it is, and he's practicing before he gets knocked out, which is really funny. He doesn't get involved in any of this because he says he can't, because he can see the future. Bullshit. He's a lazy twat. Absolute lazy bastard. I was gonna say a completely different swear word then. I nearly said it. I know.
This is going on YouTube. You got to be careful of the censors.
I held back just a little bit. But it's like you're supposed to be the star of this film, and you're not doing anything. And then when he does do something, he gets a cut on his arm, and that's it. Game over. I must leave now. And then he oh god, I don't even know what happens. He just melts away like a weird blend of Yoda dying and
it's kind of like wait. It looks like
Electro being electrocuted in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Good God. Yeah, it's not good. Can we talk about the stop motion in the film?
Is there anything else to talk about, really?
Because it is the worst stop motion I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of bad films with bad stop motion.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's like there's it reminds me because there's the kind of the how do you describe it? The kind of Trojan woman, robot woman, because it's like Jason and the Argonauts, isn't it? With the big...
it's almost like supposed to be, like the Colossus. I saw it. Like I was trying to think of it when we started talking. I couldn't think of what I was trying to say. It is because obviously they're Amazons, so it's based on Greek mythology, isn't it? So clearly it's meant to be the fucking Colossus of Rhodes or whatever. And it's just this big hulking whatever it is, but it doesn't look big because the frame of reference is absolutely terrible. So it's probably this tiny little model, probably the size of this Gozer figure, and like put on screen, it just looks terrible. And it literally walks. I mean, I'll do it with it. It walks like this, like
Andy, that is better than what was in the film.
I mean, it's smoother. I mean,
it's more lifelike. It's more lifelike than what was in the film. There is not a biped in the world that walks like that creature does, that robot does. Not to mention that it's got giant metallic breasts, which add nothing. And
it's totally gratuitous, isn't it?
And it's got like robotic nipples. It's not like just like it's got armor over the breastplate or something. They've got robotic nipples.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, why? Just
totally gratuitous for literally no reason.
Pointless.
I mean,
pointless thing.
For me, the marker of like stop motion that I always go to is the Skeleton Warriors. I can never remember the name in Jason and the Argonauts, isn't it?
Yeah.
I absolutely love that scene. I know it's not the pinnacle of stop motion, but for me, that is what I always look at when I'm looking at how smooth they move. Because those Skeleton Warriors are fucking fantastic. Yeah, I always look at that, how smooth they move. Yeah, it's a jumpy in places or whatever, but that's just the nature of stop motion, isn't it? This was like, if you were to do it frames per second, and you say those skeletons are what, say 20 frames per second or something like that, maybe less. This is probably like 1 or 2 frames per second, isn't it? That level of sort of like jerky jankiness. It's literally like your fucking game is crashing on your computer screen and going that kind of stuff. It's terrible. And it's made even worse by like how it's spliced onto the bloody scene itself. and
Lot-
then
a
the,
lot
then
of
the,
really-
the terrible acting around it as well. Like, just don't bother. Cut it. Get rid of it completely. What are you doing?
So the director Luigi Cosi, who is credited here as Lewis Coates, because obviously he thought that being, having a Anglicanized name, a Western sounding name would help in the US, I guess.
Might have helped him to disappear.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he kind of did. You're not wrong about that. He did make some like 2 other rip-off films. He made, I think he at least wrote Devilfish, which is a rip-off of Jaws, and Contamination, which is a rip-off of Alien because it's got all these alien eggs in it.
God's sake.
Yeah, and I think slowly but surely he kind of, after that was his high point. That was all these were kind of his high point in his cinematic career, and since then it's kind of whittled down.
I mean, fair play. I've not made this film. I've not made a film like this. I mean, he had a budget of 4 million. I have a budget of about £35.
But like we were saying, with the budget of Star Wars is 11 million, so they are trying to make Star Wars level kind of quality entertainment, special effects and that stuff. So it's admirable that they are, their reach, exceeds their grasp. I appreciate that they've tried and they've given it a go, and the actors are really, for the most part, trying and doing their best. It's just like the editing, the filmmaking, the writing.
Yeah.
The music's good. Like the music's good. It mostly works in the right scenes in the right way. But like you said, I think it is a little bit rushed, and that's probably why, like we said earlier,
everything is just slapped together, isn't it? And you can tell literally like Christopher Plummer just turned up, and he was like, "Oh, I need a new conservatory. This will be fine."
Actually, the reason he did it was that he wanted to visit Rome. He said, "I'll do porn in Rome as long as it's in Rome." And yeah, that was basically it. He wanted the holiday, and he was there for a day and a bit. He got his filming done in, and you can really tell. And they really stretch out the shots with him in, and then him delivering these big grandiose speeches. And again, he just turns away from the camera, just randomly, like he's like, "I'm done speaking now. Turn away," and that's it.
Yeah,
and he looks great. He is good.
He does look really great. His costume is probably like one of the most impressive costumes of all of them because it fits him really well, and he's got that lovely sort of like graying on the side of his hair. And it's like, okay, I kind of do buy him as being this, this all-loving leader, but we don't see anything else to back that up. It's literally just him in a costume sprouting these lines, and clearly he's learnt them and gone, "Oh, I did this in a play once. I'll just deliver it like that, and fine. If it works, it works. No complaints." But I'm amazed after he did this film that he agreed to do anything sci-fi related again, like with Undiscovered Country, totally different sort of setup.
And that is a lot of Shakespeare speeches as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you've got, in that film, you've got the same sort of intonations, really. Like to this, his voice is very, very light. Even though he's playing a Klingon in Undiscovered Country, it's still got a very, very light sort of way of talking. It's all very like, calm and collected like this, whereas previously we'd got Klingons that were going, It must just be Christopher Plummer in general, to be fair. God rest his soul. What an actor he is. Here's a drink to you, Christopher Plummer.
It's to you, Christopher Plummer. I will give this as well. Like we said, there were problems on set and production wise and stuff. Now you mentioned some of them, but it goes a lot deeper. So this is off the Wikipedia page, but this is pretty hardcore. So the film was plagued with production problems ranging from food poisoning on the set.
What?
Yep, food poisoning. Caroline Munro almost shat herself in that bikini. And David Hasselhoff, I believe, if I read it right, he was struggling with the food poisoning as well. He actually chipped one of the Italian stuntmen's teeth, apparently, in one of the action sequences. And it doesn't stop there, Andy. It doesn't stop there. So they also had a communist workers' revolt.
What?
A communist workers' revolt.
Where have you found that?
That was on the Wikipedia as well, I think. Or no, it might be on the Luigi Cozzi page actually.
Okay.
uh,
I've only got the Wikipedia up here at the minute. But
That's okay. That's okay. See,
like I said, I don't know. I didn't know any. We didn't do any research
No.
or anything for this film.
This-
Literally just went straight into it. Like,
Yeah, I didn't want it to be spoiled.
yeah, neither did I.
I mean, the film did that for itself.
I've nearly
but-
soiled myself watching this film, let alone bloody David Hasselhoff or Caroline Munro. Bloody hell.
That's what I said when David Hasselhoff has a line in it, and he's like, we can help you act and we can carry you. And I went, no, David Hasselhoff, you're already carrying this film.
Yeah. Stop putting too much on your shoulders. Just get us to the credits, please.
Please, just carry on. But yeah, so this workers' revolt actually led to the film's master copy being held for ransom.
Fucking hell. Did they they must have thought this was quality.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is off a Wikipedia page, so take it with a pinch of salt. But
Yeah,
if
well,
that-
yeah.
you know, if that's true, you know, there are people out there, and I think there's even an expert somewhere on Star Crash somewhere who knows.
I mean,
actually
I'd love to speak to an expert on this. If anybody's watching this and wants to reach out, you know, I doubt anybody's going to really watch this, to be fair. But if anybody has, you know, invested any kind of like exploration into this or done any sort of research or
deep dives.
essays, detailed essays on this, please get in touch, because I want to know your thoughts. As much as I really do not like this film, I'm intrigued by the madness of it. Like all that extra information is more interesting than the film.
Yeah, this is what I said to Andy before, and I was like, I think the trivia is actually more interesting than the film. The what is on screen is not as interesting as what happened behind the scenes.
No, not at all.
Oh yeah, here's another one. Christopher Plummer was paid $10,000 a day.
Friggin' hell, that is a lot.
That's a lot.
But there's a lot in that time anyway, isn't it?
And that is probably why they wanted to get all of his filming done in the one day.
He definitely just paid for his holiday with this film, didn't he?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, how many garages has Michael Caine paid for with his work? You know, how many bloody loft conversions and stuff? You know, there's a lot of actors that are quite keen to say, "Oh yeah, I did that for the money. I did that for I wanted a new car and stuff."
Didn't Bill Nye say like years ago? I think it was when he did that rom-com that everybody loves that's out at Christmas time.
Love Actually.
Love Actually, yeah. I'm sure he did like an interview afterwards where he was like, I used to be a poor jobbing actor. I'm never going to say no to a film if somebody offers it me.
Yeah, fair
You
enough.
know, fair play.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you kind of do have to say no.
Yeah, I think you've got to know your worth. I think that was
Yeah.
when
I think
I was
obviously
coming to the end.
Yeah, obviously he's talking about movies, isn't he? He wouldn't do, you know, bloody children's theatre or anything like that. But it explains it, when you look at it with Bill Nye, it kind of makes sense why he did the Underworld films for as long as he did when everybody else frigging left them, including bloody Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen was like, I'm fucking out of this. Kate Beckinsale's not doing it anymore. I'm not frigging doing it. But then Bill Nye was like, yeah, it's paying for new garden furniture. It's fine.
Yeah, why not? You'll like this, Andy, as well. Another bit of trivia.
Go on.
Ennio Morricone was approached to score the film, and he turned it down.
Thank God. God bless you, Ennio Morricone. It would have sullied his name being attached to this, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have got the thing off the back of that.
No. Jesus wept. But again, like you said, that is kind of like the whole thing was like they obviously with this film, they obviously wanted to achieve something really, really fucking grand with it. And you know, they were clearly overreaching, you know. Like we said, like when we were watching, there's loads of shots in the film where they're trying to replicate the Death Star trench attack. And I said to you, like, you can tell what they want to do. They want to do something very similar. But what they've done is they've created a model literally this big. That's the ship. You know, my keyboard is the ship, and it's that big. And they've got this big ass camera that's literally trying to focus in. But because there's no scale to any of this to match the scale, you know, what the camera's seeing, it looks cheap. It looks really naff. Whereas with A New Hope, they made the model of the Death Star and the Death Star trench the size of a whole garage. So you had that scale even when they were using these cameras. So it looked to size, it looked to scale when they were doing it. With this, they've literally just focused in on whatever they could get their hands on. So that, for example, they've just focused in like this,
Yeah.
like, oh, there we are, we're right up close. But
No detail. No.
yeah, they haven't been able to put the detail in because they've made the models so small. Whereas if they made them the size of the room I'm in now, maybe they could have got those details, and maybe those shots would have looked better. Because the camera swoops in, but because the models are so small, when it swoops in, they have to cut immediately, so you don't get any grand sense of them going in or doing strafing runs. Because there's loads of fighters, isn't there?
Yeah.
In the final battle, and they're all doing strafing runs and everything, and you don't get a sense
It's only
of the
straight
scale of the fight. Yeah,
There is at least 2 minutes of ships just going, like, either being fired out of the bigger ship,
yeah,
or just going past the screen. Again, you don't know where they are, you don't know the location, you don't have any sense of where you are in space.
yeah.
So you don't really care. You don't know what direction they're going in. It's just
Yeah.
There's no fighting.
Again, that's to do with like literally the overreaching, like the starfield at the back of the screen. So with Star Wars, the starfield is clearly like a matte painting or some kind of effect like that. But here, it's clearly a sheet on the back of a wall or something really, really close with little tiny Christmas lights behind it. And rather than having the effect of looking like a really dense sort of, galactic frigging space, it blinds everything and it I can't bloody describe it. It masks everything that's going on in front of that starfield because the lights are so bloody bright. You said it yourself, didn't you? There's all manner of colors of stars. There's bloody yellow, green, blue, orange, red. You got all the colors of the frigging rainbow. It's literally Christmas. And the problem that has is that whenever a ship comes past, unless it's like a completely different color, they just vanish. You don't see what's going on. Like the fighters are all purple and they disappear in amongst the lights because of like the reds and the blues. You don't see anything.
Yeah, there's really a lot of awful compositing. Like there's a effect where the female Colossus, we'll call her, who can't, is like this all the way, walking all the way down, walking across.
It's like me when I've had a really bad night.
Oh God.
Just on the curries or whatever.
It's just awful.
Oh no!
Like, I've got to make it to the toilet, but I'm not sure how.
Oh, shouldn't have had that attack at all.
But like that is an awful effect. But they double down on the awful effect because they have the composite of the ship come in.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a model itself, and it's just like double dog shit.
Yeah. You've got the standard background where Caroline Munro is here in the foreground. Then you've got the frigging Colossus over this fucking side, and then you've got the fucking ship over here. You've got three fucking frames on top of each other, and you can see there's loads of times in the film as well where you can see like the blending, where they have superimposed something and they just haven't blended it at all. So like you can see like there's that portal where they go through to get to the machine components when they reach the Devil planet.
Yeah.
Again, we've given up on telling you the plot because literally it doesn't make any sense because they literally just blaze for everything. But when they get to this doorway, it's like built into the rock, but the door frame itself is like just fading into the rock because they have no idea how to do it, how to blend those two compositions together. It's like we said, it's admirable, the intention. It's admirable the fact that they wanted to do so much. They just did too much.
Yeah.
And if they'd have probably just stepped back and thought, work on the characters a bit. We've got David Hasselhoff here. We've got Christopher Plummer. We've got Joe Spinell, who's completely fucking wasted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Focus on them a little bit more. You might have had something that would have been maybe just a little bit more than a cult classic. You might have had something that may be on sort of like the Black Hole kind of level.
Yeah. But like, I think that the main problem is, like we've discussed, it's not original enough.
No, nowhere near.
It's Barbarella. It's 2001. It's and it smacks of Italian filmmaking. Like, you know, that's my heritage. So, you know, I'm used to things being thrown together. And I like it. I like Italian filmmaking, and I kind of loathe it as well. Like, you know, it's a weird
Yeah.
kind of mix, because I love the kind of ethereal and weird nature of it, and I like
Yeah.
I like that they redub everything because it gives it an unusual feel. And
Yeah.
no Italian film, like, Italian filmmakers are great. They're passionate. They go in. They go whole hog. They fucking throw everything they can at the screen. They throw all their ideas on the screen and see what sticks. Like, if you go into an Italian film, like, looking for plot, character development, shit like that. Like, look at Demons is a great example
Yeah.
of fucking, it's mental, it's fun, it's bizarre. Things happen, but you enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that in this. There's that same kind of, like, and this scene and this idea. We go to the chocolate planet. We go to the ice planet. We go to the desert planet. You know, we meet these characters. This happens and stuff. And again, it kind of just is slammed together, but there's no clear through line. There's no destination. There's no setup. There's no development. It's just, thing is happening. Another thing is happening. We might die. We're not dying. And again, things are resolved resoundingly quickly and weirdly and bizarrely, like the bloody lava lamp attack. It's just like, we just survived the deadliest attack, and yeah, but how did you do? Because everyone else died. How? And it just goes, doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can get away with doing that kind of stuff with a film like Demons, where it is just like, it's just horror. When you're trying to make a sci-fi opera, which it literally describes itself as being, you cannot cut corners on the frigging story.
No,
because if it doesn't make sense, you lose everyone. You lose interest immediately. People just zone out because they ain't got a fucking clue what's going on. I mean,
we didn't. We absolutely had no idea plot-wise, and then they're also just speaking absolute gobbledygook.
Yeah, it's just gibberish, literal gibberish, and that's not because of bad dubbing or anything. It is literally just absolute gibberish. None of it makes sense. The Zarthan, who played by Joe Spinell, I don't have a clear idea what his evil motive is. I don't understand it, apart from to destroy Christopher Plummer and his own planet.
Yeah,
I don't have a clear idea what he wants to do, because this evil world which he is in control of, he ends up wanting to destroy himself. And I don't know why he wants to destroy it himself. I don't get it. I don't know what the motive is for him wanting to destroy his own super weapon. It doesn't make sense. They never answer that. It's almost like they go, well, the good guys are already here, so it's useless to me now. Why? I don't get it. It never explains it.
They spend the whole film looking for this phantom planet, they call it.
Yeah.
The League.
That's it, the Phantom Planet. I keep calling it the Devil Planet. Like,
it's basically the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
The League of the Dark Planets and stuff. We don't know what it means. We don't know what, established it. I don't need to know a lot about,
no.
In Star Wars, you don't need to know a lot about the Empire, but you get an idea, you get a gist of what they're after, what they're doing.
That's the thing. In Star Wars, you get the gist from the way everyone's talking, because the lines make sense. So when Tarkin and Vader are talking about Princess Leia, and Tarkin comes in and goes, well, the Emperor will never allow it. We don't need to worry about the Senate anymore because the Emperor's got rid of it all. You kind of go, oh, fucking hell, there's some underlying politics here. It's not written in a way that is gibberish, because those are realistic lines that those characters are expected to say. When you think about it, it's general conversation that they're having. Here, they're literally in this film, they're sprouting buzzwords to make you go, oh, we're in the midst of the mission now. It's not constructive dialogue. In Star Crash, it's literally just trash. It's just random words that'll make you go, oh, okay, because they literally, at the start of the film, they literally, oh, fucking hell. It's when they're trying to get away from the bounty hunters. They're literally going, well, if we input the coordinates to sector 0619 and we have to burn the thruster manuals, what? They don't believe it themselves, and you can tell because they don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah. That's
the difference. Obviously, when you look at Star Wars, you look at Harrison Ford, he didn't have a fucking clue what he was saying at all, but acting took over. He made you believe. That's the difference. It's the acting, the writing. Doesn't matter if it's shit at the end of the day.
I'll tell you what as well. Like, they come up at the end and they make it like it's a countdown, so they've got a short amount of time. Joe Spinell says they've got like, I'll be honest, what really annoyed me in this is like all the dialogue that out of context being in space doesn't work. Like by sunset I will be the master of the galaxy.
You're in space.
You're in fucking space. There is no such thing as a sunset. You know, there's other ways to kind of gauge time.
What was it? What was it that Elle said? Oh my God, this is going like a hot potato. Where are you? Are you in Kansas? What's going on? And literally, Elle is like he's voiced by some Texan. Yeah. Oh man, I'm a robot, but I talk like this. Don't you worry, Missy. I'll get you out of here. I'm
an old prospector.
Who the fuck are you? What's going on? The sunset. Oh, the sunset. By sunset, I will rule the galaxy.
Yeah,
you're in space.
You're in space, and then when they've got this, you know, the old Star Wars scene where it's like, "Don't get cocky, kid." They're in the turrets and stuff. They go, fire left, and I'm like, you're in space. What does left mean in space? What is left and right? That you've got there's no way to gauge that. Like,
there's no reference point in space.
There's no reference point for you where you are. You're just in space. You can't just say turn left, you know. But I wanted to say this. Go back to the point I was going to make. At the end of the film, there's no time left. Yeah, there's no time.
Yeah.
The planet's going to explode. They fucking stop time or whatever it is to escape when Christopher Plummer turns up, whatever the fuck that is. Anyway, you get with Star Wars, with A New Hope, you have on Yavin, you've got the sensor array, and you've got the kind of the countdown. When the Death Star is going to be in the vicinity to fire on Yavin and destroy it.
Yeah,
you have that.
You've got stakes. You've got stakes.
And you've also got that ticking clock.
Yeah.
So that is going. So you know there's like, oh shit, it's getting close. Fuck. They're almost in position. Like, you don't have that here. You just have, soon I will be the master of my sunset. I'll be the master of the galaxy. You know. Okay. And when they pull away, because they explain that they escape this exploding planet by slowing down time or whatever. Yeah. So they do.
Christopher Plummer gives them 3 minutes or something stupid like that.
Yeah,
by the third minute, time will go back to how it was. Will it?
But if time slows down for 3 minutes, how is it 3 minutes?
Yeah.
How do you work that out? How do you go, okay, time is paused, but in 3 minutes?
Yeah.
You can't do both. You can't say in 3 minutes and then say time is paused. Like, if you go until the power runs out of my amulet, like then I'd fucking understand. But if you're just going, time is paused for 3 minutes, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, they slowly go off, and we talked about this as well. There is, like, for a sci-fi film, there is a lot of fucking jump scares in this.
Yeah, and they're not jump scares in the traditional sense. Literally, the explosions are really fucking violent in this film. Like, I described it as like somebody's like, you know, they're supposed to use a really small firecracker in this model, and some geezers just come up and go, nah, fuck it, put it all in, mate. Stick it all in, pal. It'll be all right. Don't worry. And then literally, as this unassuming spacecraft is leaving the orbit of this planet, literally the entire screen goes up in brilliant white. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. There were so many times in the film when I went, oh, fucking hell, because it's that bright. I mean, I've only got a small screen, but bloody hell, if this were in, like, you know, the Odeon or something, everyone would have been blinded. Like, the corneas would have been blown out of their eyes.
I sent you a little, because when I was doing the research on IMDb and Wikipedia and stuff, I sent Andy a screenshot of a review from someone on IMDb.
Yeah,
and the title was, "This film gave me a seizure," and after seeing some of the effects, I can see why.
Yeah, I completely understand that review now, because it is literally like that. I mean, there are so many moments when, you know, things will just explode, and they're like little tiny spaceship models, like that big on the screen, and then the explosion is the entirety of the screen, and you're like, oh, geez. And not only that, but like there are random moments, like when we're on a troglodyte planet, and nothing's happening at all. It's like that meme, isn't it?
Yeah.
No one, and then troglodyte attack. It literally just goes, and you're like, oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
And that again, that sequence is the best shot sequence.
Yeah.
The makeup is the best. It's got the best death scene probably in the film, most violent death scene of L. Not really a death scene, but
Just
you know, he gets
destroying
absolutely
completely.
obliterated. You get the introduction of Hasselhoff. He is excellent in the fight scenes as well. Much better than the guy who plays Acton, who is shocking.
Yeah, like we said, you can tell that Hasselhoff is really putting everything into like getting the choreography spot on and, you know, trying to act. Obviously, this is probably very early in his career, maybe, because he's very young. So you can see this is like, I've got to be great in this film. You know, my agent says he can get me some good shit after this. Cause I'm in a film with Christopher Plummer.
And you get again, like, you get a lovely, like, they shoot in a cave basically. It gets to a point where they go inside a cave where all the troglodytes live, and it's a gorgeous, like, lots of proper stalagmites, stalactites, whatever you call them. It's gorgeous. They do flip the shot a few times, and then they do go around the same corner about 20 times. But it gives the film such authenticity. And it looks good, like, comparison to everything else we've seen. Like, I was like, like, all the psychedelics, all the colors and everything, it really works in that cave, and it just brings it to life a bit more.
It's almost a shame they did so much in space, isn't it? Like, they just fucking stuck to the real world stuff. I mean, even when they're on the snow planet, just on fucking Hoth. Apart from the fact that Caroline Munro is wearing fucking high heels in the snow, which I don't understand. You know, it looks okay. It looks really good. You know, you kind of believe it, apart from the wide angle shots where they're doing like a fake sky, which I don't know why they did that. Why do that?
Yeah.
Just keep it as it is.
There's a lot of unnecessary shots in this film of just people fucking walking slowly somewhere, either forward, back, across, you know, in a desert, in the snow.
It's almost like they were walking through IKEA, wasn't it? They're just like, we're going into different sound stages. Oh, look at this. We've got the Hergstein here, and we have the Flugelnasch, and then now we're going into Troglodyte world, and we have the Steinergisch, and it's very good. I love it. Thank you so much.
I've just been reminded, your T-shirt has just reminded me of one of my favorite characters in this.
Oh, freaking hell! Yeah. There is literally a Mighty Boosh. There's something in the Mighty Boosh that was clearly taken from this film, because the shirt I'm wearing is obviously the Hitcher. Yeah. So there is a creature in this film that appears for what, 10, 15 seconds? Maybe a little bit longer, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And it is literally, Mighty Boosh has taken it and put it in their show. Must have done. And it's what's his name?
Tony Harrison.
Tony Harrison. Oh,
this is an outrage.
Like, this is an outrage, like that weird squid head thing. I mean, I'll put a picture up. But literally, it's that. They've literally taken it, and it's genius.
That's one of the genius things about Mighty Boosh, is that often the costume designers would come up with these amazing, immaculate outfits for them, and they went, "No, it looks too good. It's got to look shit."
Yeah,
and that's kind of not unlike a kind of a Star Crash type film, or that kind of aesthetic. You know, because stuff does look a bit shit in it.
Yeah.
As entertaining or as unentertaining as it is, you know, there's kind of a weird shitty charm to it.
Yeah.
And that I can almost guarantee they must have seen this.
Yeah, because it's literally identical. As soon as we saw it, we went, fucking hell, it's the Mighty Boosh. Because it's literally just a big massive head that's judging them when they get arrested at the start of the film. And it's the shape of the head, the color of the head, the tentacles. It's literally Tony Harrison from Mighty Boosh. Literally is. There's no other way of looking at it.
Know nothing of the crunch.
You said that was it. You said it, but I watched it and it broke apart. You know nothing of the crunch.
This is an outrage.
What goes on tour stays on tour.
Brilliant. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that's just it. I mean, even as bad as this film is, there is obviously. I mean, I said it. Like, I reckon George Lucas saw this film and went, "Oh, fucking hell, nice planet. That'd be great in Empire Strikes Back, wouldn't it? I can do it better though." Oh, wait a minute, they're on the troglodyte world. They've been captured. They've been carried off on sticks.
They're going to be eaten.
They're going to be eaten above a fire. Oh, I'll turn the troglodytes into Ewoks. That'd be fucking great, that, wouldn't it? Literally, he's stolen it. He's seen it. He's seen Star Crash, hasn't he? And he's gone,
Oh, he's
try and
definitely-
rip off my film, will you? I'll rip off yours with me $15 million budget, you shithouses.
Here's a question for you, Andy. We covered, well, on your channel, you covered it as well, but we covered the Ewok adventure
No,
films.
don't ask me the question I think you're going to ask me.
Is it better? Is Star Crash better than those films? Either one of them? Or should I ask this question after we've seen the Turkish Star Wars?
Well, because you've asked this now on this video,
I guess we have to answer.
I have to answer it. I can't leave it, can I?
Because they were not good. We went over it quite extensively, and you did on your own on your channel. They were really not good. But is Star Crash better or worse?
Oh, I hate you.
Tough questions need tough answers.
I think it's probably that little bit better. I think
Star Crash is better than Ewoks.
I don't really know. I'm trying to think because the Ewoks are two different films, aren't they? So the first Ewok film is probably better than this.
Yeah,
but this is better than the second one.
Yeah, I
the
think
second one's freaking awful. Second one's awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think the first one does have a plot. I'll say that, it's concise and it's stronger. But that second one was just probably as confusing as
that's the way I'd put it. I'd put I can't even remember the frigging names.
Caravan of Courage.
So Caravan of Courage, Star Crash, piece of shit.
I can't wait to see where the Turkish Star Wars ranks in all of this.
You know what really annoyed me is like we're going off topic. We'll go with those bloody Ewok films. Everyone frigging raves about them.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, like it's just blind. Like I look at my frigging room. I am a horrific mega Star Wars fan. I'm sorry, they are rubbish. If you out there sprouting those films were good, you're a liar. You're an absolute liar. There you go. I've said it. Liar. All of you are liars.
I tend to agree with Andy. There's not much good that came out of those.
I watched a couple of videos on them and they're like, oh, this is retrospective. I watched this one as a kid. It was great when I was a kid. It probably was. Be realistic. They're shit. I used to love the Power Rangers movie from 1995 or whenever it was. It's rubbish.
Oh, yeah.
I still have it on DVD, mind you, but it's rubbish.
There's been a couple of films my friend Dennis has introduced me to. He's like, oh, I loved this when I was a kid. And I was like, when was the last time you saw it, Dennis? Oh, when I was a kid. So I watch it and I go, Dennis, that was a pile of shit. And he goes, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's great. It's got all this. And I was like, all right, you watch it then. You watch it and tell me how far you get.
There's blind love, isn't there? There's blind love. I mean, I used to love Thomas the Tank Engine, but come on. It's not... Some things you keep, some things you can't. All right. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I think I was thinking...
You're rubbish!
Rubbish! You're a liar! I was thinking about the score by John Barry again. Probably the best thing in the film.
By a long shot.
Definitely. That and David Hasselhoff for me. Yeah. Top two things. Caroline Munro is very good as well. I think she really sells it. She's smart, sexy. She's got she's got agency. She's got as for a female character in the 70s. She's got a lot of agency, a lot of power. She does acting's fucking shit in comparison to Caroline.
She does a lot of fighting. It's great.
Yeah, she does everything. He's like, oh, things will turn out for the best. I'll just wait here until I'm needed.
Would I lie to you?
Would I lie to you?
What? What about? What have you done? Tell me, Acton. Would I lie to you? Oh, fuck off, dickhead.
But yeah, she's great. I think she's the third best thing that I can take from this film. There's not much else. Really,
Christopher Plummer earns his garden furniture.
Fourth thing, but I can't really that's pushing it for me. The positives wise.
It really is. It really is pushing it.
Editing is really shocking. Special effects are shocking. Again, apart from that troglodyte makeup, which is great.
Yeah.
Just keep me on. I could have just done with more of the troglodyte planet. That was the best bit. For me.
Yeah, well, like I said,
That's fair.
if they stuck more to the planets and less in space, it probably would have been it would have felt like a much better film.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Even the ray gun stuff, even the disintegration,
Yeah.
explosions and stuff. Like when it's the sparks, when they shoot them, it's the sparks. That feels like Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
But when they just turn into a green,
yeah, because the way that people get hit, you actually see the damage being done to them as well, which is really, really good. You see like the little, the hits. You see the hits. Yeah. They're not just going oh and falling over. You literally see like the sparks, and you can see like burn marks where they've had like whatever pouches or the fireworks or whatever.
Yeah,
you can see them. It actually looks good. Yeah. Those bits look good.
But the problem I had, like, there's some scenes at the end where Zarth Arn, who for some reason just likes to shout his own name, probably does it the same in the bedroom. I'm assuming. He's just going, do this, shoot them, and do that, and do this. But like I've got no sense of like, are they? Yeah. I wasn't sure if they were on their ship, the villain ship, or the hero ship.
Yeah. There's no sense of scope, as there's no like clear line of engagement.
Exactly. Like I don't know if they're if they're taking the ground, or if it's the villains that are taking the ground, or it's just logistically when it comes to the fight sequence and the battle sequences, it's just a mess. It's just you can't work out what is happening at any point. No,
not at all.
And again, like that ruins the stakes. It reminds me of like I always think of Alien 3. Like when they've got the xenomorph trapped in the tunnels.
Yeah,
and you have. And that should be a really tense scene. You should know exactly where everyone is and how that tunnel system works. But you don't, and it is shit because of that.
Yeah.
It does not work because of that. And it's a real shame, because everything else is working. The POV shot, the special effects, the actors, everything else. But when you have no idea where you are in the scene, you're just confused and you zone out. It's like when you're at theatre performance and you can't hear the actors, you fucking zone out because
you're gone. You lose it immediately. I mean, I've not. It seems to be coming back in a lot of films. I find like it seems to be like a revolution thing. Every other like 20 years or so, we get to this point where films are just they're just sprouting out nonsense, or they're just losing track of where they are. And for me, that happened very recently with Black Widow. They lose a sense of where they are and what's supposed to be, in that world at that point. It's just stuff just happens without any thought or consequence to other things happening or meant to be happening at that time. It's just, we have to do it for this film. Okay, but what about everything that should be going along with that in this wider universe, in that sort of situation? Oh, well, we can, it's not going to get mentioned, so it's okay. That's not an excuse. That's not a good reason. And with this kind of film, you can't just overlook those kind of films and expect it to work. It's like you said, it's to do with like the structure, the writing and everything. It works for a film like Demons because you can just palm it off as like it's this enclosed area, it's tight, they're not going anywhere, they're all trapped in a cinema, they're all getting attacked. Evil Dead kind of situation, not going anywhere, they're all trapped in this cage of chaos. With this film, because there's so much going on, they're going from one place to another, it loses itself. And I feel like that's coming back in a lot of films at the minute, where they're moving at such breakneck speed, exactly like this film, that they're losing track of where they're supposed to be, what they're doing, and why they're doing it. And when you don't know why the fuck you're doing something, which I thought quite a lot of in Black Widow, you lose all sense of stakes, you lose all sense of urgency, and you lose, most importantly, in a cinematic film, where there's other things going on around it, you lose the reason for its existence.
Yeah. I said that on the Demons podcast, that I know that cinema back to front by the time all the stuff happens.
Yeah,
I know. You know where the foyer is. You know that weird room with the mirror in that people seem to just go in and die. Yeah. You know the upstairs. You know how to get there. You know the stakes. People are climbing up the side or they're breaking through the door.
Yeah,
you know the location, and that adds to the intensity. Again, doesn't have a lick of sense the whole film, but because I know the location,
Yeah.
because I know the danger.
Yeah, you know the logistics of how they're trying to defend it. It's
Exactly.
Die Hard, isn't it? It's a Die Hard thing. When you watch Die Hard, you literally know that building from your ass. You literally know it. You know exactly where John McClane's going. You know why he's going there. You know what he's doing. You know his escape plans. You know how he's going to get around. So when he's in the vents and he's coming down and he gets to a different place and he comes back out and he sees that poster of the girl again, gets that realization. You go, fucking hell, yeah, he's done that. He's gone that way. Oh, he's going back up this way now.
And you know why that works as well is because they give him a tour of the building, basically.
Yeah.
Like you see all the characters go in and out of the office building. You see them in all the different rooms. And then when the action hits, you know exactly where you are. You know where the villains are, where he is in relation to that, and that adds to the tension. Again, you meet all the characters there in the foyer, blah blah blah. But you know the vents, you know what the vent connects to. You know upstairs, you know that's where all the work's being done. You know the roof, you know everything. And again, just giving you a sense of your location and where you are. Like the way we were trained, it was like, know where you are on the stage, know where you are in yourself,
know where you're going,
know what your intention is, what is the next thing. Your character is always thinking, always moving, what is their objective, that sort of thing. Films have to have that too. You can't just the characters have to have that, definitely, and you have to know where they're going, what they're doing.
This is where all my thought process comes through when I'm looking at a film. Like with Black Widow, I was looking at where are they going, what they're doing, how is this happening. It's not happening logically, it's not happening, as it should do in the world. I'm not talking about the amount of times that she should have died, which is hilarious, really.
It's a lot.
But just like simple things like, how do you get to a situation like this? Everything is happening so conveniently that it's become farcical. There's no realistic travel. Like we said with Die Hard, everything happens realistically. Yeah, okay, it's a fucking grandiose action movie. Don't argue with that. I don't deny that. But it gives you the very real steps of his understanding of that building and how he's going to get around it to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, just going back to it, I mean, a lot of films are neglecting that. They're neglecting the logic that a character needs to explore options in order to do certain things for the sheer sake of just going straight for the big money shots. They're forgetting to do, they're just neglecting to do it. They're neglecting to go, here's the ground rules, here's the law, here's how we're going to plan it out, here's how we're going to make it work. That's why 80s action movies were perfect. Regardless of what they were, they set you the ground rules within the first 10 minutes or the first 20 minutes before the shit hit the fan. Every single one, from Cobra to Die Hard to Lethal Weapon, you understood what the characters were, what the worlds they were living in, and what their limitations were. Yeah. Modern films from Snake Eyes, even the Suicide Squad, which I adore, to Black Widow, and, going to hazard a guess, maybe to Shang-Chi as well. This is going to be out before then, but it'd be interesting to see whether they set out the ground rules of that character, whether it follows logical paths, limitations of his power, or whether they just skirt around everything, like this film. It's going to move from here to here to here to there to there to there with only the minuscule amount of explanation in order to get to the final objective, which is, in this case, in Star Crash, was to destroy the fucking Phantom Devil world or whatever it was. Maybe we're going a bit too in depth here, but it's where my thought goes. When my thought goes, like with this, I went, you jumped the shark because you don't know what you're doing. And for me, that does seem to be happening in some big Hollywood movies. They're just like jumping the shark and in favor of going for the money shot. Yeah, maybe it is what people want at the minute. Maybe that's fine.
I think talking about that ticking clock, like Commando's got a great ticking clock on it, because he goes, right, I've got to be off this plane by this time. If they know I'm not on the plane, my daughter will be killed. I have click, click, click. I have this much time. Go, go, go.
Yeah, again, you set the stakes.
Instantly.
It explains why he has to literally go to war with the entire island, because he's got no time to faff around and sneak around. He literally just has to go in guns blazing in order to achieve the objective. And before they realise.
That's why he's so desperate throughout the film, and there's fucking rockets being shot down the
Yeah.
street. You know, he's swinging off bloody things in a mall, jumping on elevators and stuff. He
Yeah.
literally doesn't have the fucking time to do
Yeah.
stealthy or carefully. He's like, I am on this fucking running clock, and you're with him. You're with him all the way through it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it takes time to do the odd one-liner, but you know that he's got purpose and drive, and he knows what the goal is. He knows what he wants, and it's clear to the audience, clear to him, clear to the whole film is driven that way. It's absolutely mental, but it's brilliant. But again, sets those stakes and then runs with it. Off you go. Boom.
You're given the objectives of the film. You're given the objectives of the character. They don't skirt around anything to try and trip you up towards the end of the film.
And I remember when we watched
too many films doing that at the minute, where they're like, "Oh, there's a slight twist."
Yeah,
great. I love a twist, but fucking hell, if you don't do anything else in the film right, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, Mr. M. Night Shyamalan. Like I remember we were watching
Old. Have you seen Old?
No, not interested personally. Not
yeah.
Interested.
I felt fucking old watching it.
I remember when we were watching this, I stopped us at the hour mark and said, yeah, an hour has not passed. This is the dialogue in the film. And I was just like, 20 minutes in, I was like, the plot hasn't started. Like, there is no, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who these characters are. They're being attacked. There's all this radiation, all this blobbly,
Wait, you know what Black Widow here or Star Crash? sorry. I'm so sorry.
He's so bitter. He's so bitter about that. But no, Star Crash, like, all these attacks, all this stuff, all these people dying. It was pretty full on, and the special effects and stuff. But I had no idea. Again, there was no stakes, like we said, no stakes whatsoever. Loads of people have died. I'm like, okay, that's quite shocking.
Yeah, a lot of people have died.
Yeah. And then we're with these characters. Don't explain who they are. Don't explain who they're running from. All of a sudden, oh, we survived. We split our ship in half. And I was like, and we were like, these are the worst smugglers in the world. They've just left their entire cargo. Bit like Han Solo in New Hope.
Yeah, but at least they had a good reason. They had no reason. They went, oh, there's a neutron star. Don't get too close. Oh, well, we are. Oh, okay.
We've separated now. We're safe. Yay. And it was like, yay.
And when they get away, they cheer. They go,
Yeah, it's pathetic. Most pathetic cheer. Not like, oh my God, we're alive.
Someone's alive.
Alive. But yeah, like, do you think, here's a question. Do you think Star Crash actually influenced some sci-fi films, like maybe a Flash Gordon, maybe an Alien, maybe, something like that? Do you think there's some small amount of DNA from Star Crash that has gone into future sci-fi films?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's conspiracy theory now that literally George Lucas stole Hoth from this film, stole the Ewoks from this film. But yeah, I think possibly because some of the shots, especially with like the long shots of the ships, you could say maybe Ridley Scott did that for the Nostromo, the long shot, where it's hovering over and everything.
But then again, we could say that's from Star Wars.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's just it. Because this film has taken influences from so many different fucking things. Yeah, they're bound to be connections that you could put across and say, oh yeah, this Star Crash influenced Flash Gordon. No, they probably saw it and probably thought, we're not going to do that. They probably did. They probably looked at it like there's so many schlock late 70s, early 80s, well, I'll say early 80s through the 80s sci-fi movies that it's probably hard to really say that. But clearly, because it's considered a cult classic, and because David Hasselhoff was in it and Christopher Plummer, people must have watched this. Like high level people must have watched this. So it's very plausible that this did have some kind of impact in some sense, whether it was sort of like a don't fucking do this, or whether it's like, oh, that's actually a pretty good idea. George, have you seen this ice planet on here?
Did we look up the box office for Star Crash? I can't remember.
No, and this would be a good way to sort of round off our tangent of a discussion.
I think I might have it here. No, I don't. I've only got the budget.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't have the. I found the quote though. Star Crash is a masterpiece of unintentionally bad filmmaking.
Okay, I've got the box office.
Go on.
Unintentional bad filmmaking. So the film grossed at this is at the American box office. So $478,000.
Fucking hell. On a $4 million budget. That's bad.
Not great, is it? Oosh, is what I'd say. But
Bloody hell. Well, there you have it.
Yeah, there you do have it.
That's a really depressing way to sort of draw this to a close, I think.
People speak with their money, and they really didn't speak with the money for this one, or they did.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, boys and girls. This has been a rather weird discussion on the 1978 film Star Crash, starring Christopher Plummer, David Hasselhoff, and Caroline Munro.
Joe Spinell.
Joe Spinell. I mean, fucking hell. What a cast.
They would all go on to do much better things. We'll say that much. Without
this film, Christopher Plummer wouldn't have done Star Trek 6. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because obviously he went, I did a shit sci-fi about 12 years ago. I'll do this for you. No problem. No problem. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. What a film. It is on Amazon Prime. We are not sponsored in any way.
Absolutely
but if you have some morbid curiosity about this 1978 schlock sci-fi movie that is clearly a major rip-off of everything else that was out around about that time, then it is there to watch. Fill your boots, fill your high heels in snow, and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. If you enjoy watching bad movies, it's one for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's there. If you've got this subscription, it's partake.
Yeah, get some friends round, get a couple of whiskeys, and
definitely drink. Do a drinking game. I tell you what, do a drinking game every time. I could make. I'll design a drinking game based on.
Please do. We'll watch it again. We'll watch it with everybody else.
Yeah, we'll do a live stream or a commentary or something. My God. But definitely, get a few drinks down. You get some beers in. Watch it with some friends because you won't finish it alone. I guarantee it. You won't finish it alone.
No, not at all. Not unless you're really ill and you can't move to reach the remote control.
Yeah, and I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to bad films. I'm pretty forgiving.
You are.
And I don't forgive this one.
Much more forgiving than I am.
Yeah, this has been really good though. I really enjoyed the discussion much more, and the trivia much more than the actual film.
Yeah, likewise. Tell these fine people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at spiderdanandthesecretballs.com. That's my website. That's BORES. I have a podcast that I kind of collaborate with Andy on quite a lot. He's one of my favorite guests, my first guest, in fact, ever. Some really good stuff you can partake in. A lot of fun as well. Star Wars and Nicolas Cage films, you name it, we've done it all. We've done it, almost all of it. But yes, you can find the podcast on all good podcatchers, whichever you use. It's also on YouTube as well. I do some YouTube videos with myself in person, but they're mostly for my Patreon. But there is currently one free one up there. So if you want to give that a look, that's on He-Man Thundercats, the comic book crossover, which is really, really good. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that one.
Gorgeous comic as well. Lots of fun, lots of cheesy fun. If you have enjoyed the Masters of the Universe cartoon, and if you haven't, it's slightly more adult take. So there's obviously a Fisto joke in there for everyone's enjoyment. Family friendly.
Everyone loves a good Fisto joke.
No, they certainly do. But Spider Dan is everywhere. Spider Dan and the Secret Balls. Just type that into Google. Everything should come up, or go on the website. Twitter at Dan_balls, Instagram Spider Dan Secret Balls, and on Facebook it's at Secret Balls.
Lovely. Well, there we have it, boys and girls. Thank you for joining me and Mr. Spider Dan here on this wonderful adventure into hell. That is it.
I hope you enjoyed Star Trash.
Yeah. If you have watched it, leave a comment down below. If you've done any essays, like I said earlier on, get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. But our next one will be the Turkish Star Wars movie, and join us for that. Not sure when it'll be. I need a bit of time to recover, but thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Stella! Stella! And welcome home.